people use the word authenticity out there, right, Stephanie? It's like a big word that everyone throws around, but I don't think a lot of people really understand it. What to me it really means is be your true self, who you are. It doesn't matter how much real estate I own. It doesn't matter the accolades, rewards, whatever it is. I'm still the same Ben Reinberg who is that kid in the guy's office on the audit. And so, that person never leaves me.
That's right.
But how you manage your emotions and how you deal with people and how you grow and how you develop your expertise, that's on you. Everyone tries to point the finger, Stephanie, at everyone else.
That's right.
But if you want to be successful in commercial real estate,
point the finger at yourself.
Look at yourself. Look at the guy. Look at the man or woman in the mirror and say, how do I continue to improve? And it's an evolution. I've been fortunate enough to have great mentors in all different industries around the world. I've invested in myself. I am a big proponent of personal development. I meditate twice a day. I work on myself because I know that people depend on me, but I wouldn't have it any other way as a leader. And so if you want to improve your leadership skills, work on yourself, and that will help you lead great people that will create an impact in what you want to do. And the more people you serve, the more money you'll make out there. And that's just a little tip that you should be observing instead of, worrying about yourself, worry about some other folks, work on yourself. Okay. That's important, but just keep pushing forward. And in this business, and I'll tell you, Stephanie, it's really important. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not, look at last year. Okay. We talked about a little bit. Perfect segue. 22 to 23, we're down 65% in sales transaction in commercial real estate. I've never seen that in my career. And I've been through some crazy cycles. And so for me, when I look at that, it's like, it's a cleansing that goes on our business. So if you can survive, and just keep pushing forward and do what you can, and, maybe button up the hatches a little bit, be more conservative with your money. If you're a broker out there listening, or you're an architect, or you're in the service business, whatever it is, and business is down, it will come back. It's going to come back this year. Next year will be a lot better. And we have an election year going on. We're going to keep this economy floating together, and there'll be deal volume happening. This year will be a much better year than 2023. 2023 was really interesting to me with the amount of deal volume down, and it worried people. I was getting calls from brokers like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, we might not buy a deal this year, and that's okay. And it's because we're not going to buy a deal just to buy a deal. It's not prudent for our investors because, we have high net worth accredited investors and family offices that invest with us all over the world. And so for us, being a good fiduciary of capital is you have to make the right decisions. They come first. And so when you're in a market that's not as opportunistic as we like, what's interesting is a lot of the younger generation probably listening to the show, they got involved in commercial real estate when the market was hot. Cap rates were low, money was abundant, interest rates were low. They haven't been through a cycle. So they're seeing something that is very unique to them, Stephanie. And so part of that is, wait a minute, not everything is low interest rates and things just keep humming along. It's a cyclical business. And so people always ask me, like, what's important? The ability to hold. Having the ability to hold. I say it all over social media. It's not about location. It's the ability to hold. And for brokers out there listening, especially in investment sales, is underwriting the proper real estate fundamentals. It's not a cap rate equation. Everyone throws around cap rate. And I did a reel on this recently. I hear this term cap rate. People don't understand what that really means. They don't understand how to underwrite commercial real estate because they're not on the principal side. And so what's important, Stephanie, is you need to understand the real estate fundamentals, such as vacancy rates, absorption rates, what's market rent, what's the cost per square foot, what's the ingress for this property, how many parking spaces do I have, what's the construction, what's the credit worthiness of the tenant or tenants in the building. The list goes on and on. And so when you really look at a deal, whether it's long-term or short-term type leasing, you have to look at those fundamentals to see, why are our tenants there? What's the supply and demand? What's the barriers to entry? Are there, being part of land equations, are there barriers to entry where maybe a new building can be constructed near me and start competing. We've seen that. We're seeing that right now on some of our properties, that there's some construction that's going to be happening in a couple of years from now, especially being medical office experts, one of our niches around the country. We're seeing some hospital systems are going to start spending money. Well, they're going to compete with maybe a building we have. So these are what changes values in our proper valuations, not just throwing a number at it, a cap rate, a percentage, and saying, well, the building down the street sold for a 7 cap. So it's not proper analysis. So I encourage everyone, thank you, Lisa Marie, for setting the path of what CCIM is. That's a great class. I never did that. I did my own MBA by just being involved in business.
Right.
But I suggest people that want to learn proper underwriting, CCIM is a really good tool because it gives you the foundation of what are the fundamentals and what do I need to look for. So definitely think that's a great idea to do for all of you out there.
Absolutely.